you'd understand that making a wine like the Shiraz I make, you've got to have control over everything, all the way from the pruning and the vineyard management, all the way through the wine making. For me, it really sort of put everything into place with the development. It required a lot of work. It took me 10 years to get the vineyard heavily pruned, reworked, get it sort of into the shape that you can see at the moment. Yeah. When you've got a slope like this, the environmental factors affecting the vines can be remarkably different. When I harvest it, I actually harvest it as 10 separate sections. I make that decision as I'm seeing how the wines are emerging during the ferment, because there is quite a significant difference in the personality of the wines. You know, when I'm making such a small amount of wine, I've got to do as many things as I can to impose and provide complexity in terms of the personalities of different barrels. You know, and they're going to be matured between 4 and 6 years before I start assembling them and bottling them. So that gives them quite a long time to, you know, evolve their personality. And when you get down to Adrian's, we're going to be looking at completely different soil structures. And you'll see when we do the tasting, I think this will sort of give you a bit of background as to why you can see the different expressions of Shiraz. Now, Adrian's soils are completely the opposite. They're actually quite alkaline. There's an underlying layer of limestone.
This is the block where the 100-year-old vines here is actually where I learnt to actually prune with my grandfather. So here we've got 100-year-old Shiraz, across the way 50-year-old Shiraz. We've got what we call our mirrored block. So we went through and took cuttings off these old vines and actually planted them alongside here. And they were planted in 94, 5 and 6 respectively as you go across the block. But it's all same stocked material as our old vine here. One thing I suppose that makes us very unique is we do have a patchwork vineyard, but they're managed in different ways as well. So it's not all managed the same way, even though it's one patch. We've got vines that run north-south, we've got vines that run along the elliptical plane. We've got different types of trellis systems within that as well. And that'll all add complexity and different components of blending into what we do in the vineyard. 85% of what I grow is Shiraz.